The whole mahalla still talked about Dr. Priya Kapoor's wedding like it had happened yesterday instead of 7 years ago. White orchids were flown in from Bangkok. A band baja that played for 3 straight days. And most of all, the way Mrs. Indira Kapoor, the grand matriarch of the Kapoor nursing homes, had stood on the stage, placed her hand on Priya's head, and declared in front of 500 guests, "This is the daughter I never had." Priya had been 27 then, brilliant pediatric registrar, soft-spoken, fair, convent-educated, the kind of girl every mother-in-law claimed she wanted. Arjun had looked at her like she was the answer to every prayer he never dared to voice. They were happy. At least, that is what the photographs showed. Arjun had been dead for 43 minutes. The car was a twisted wreck on the old Fugbara bypass. The police said he lost control at 120 km per hour, hit the divider, and flipped 3 times. No skid marks. No alcohol. Just sudden, violent, final. Priya reached the mortuary in the same sky blue cotton sari she had worn to the clinic that morning. Her mother-in-law, Indira, arrived 10 minutes later in a white silk salwar kameez that looked freshly starched for the occasion. Indira's arms went around Priya instantly, the perfect picture of shared grief for the photographers outside. Priya's body went rigid, but she let the embrace happen. Because that is what perfect daughters-in-law do. Later, in the family room, while cousins sobbed and uncles arranged the ambulance for Antam Sangskar, Indira pulled Priya into a corner. "Beta, you are young," she whispered, pressing a set of keys into Priya's palm. "Take rest. I will handle everything." Priya stared at the keys. They were the spare set for Arjun's Audi. That was the first time something cold slid down her spine. 3 days after the cremation, Priya was clearing Arjun's clothes for donation when his Apple Watch, miraculously intact, vibrated on the nightstand. She had forgotten it was still paired to his phone, which the police had returned in a plastic evidence bag. She opened the voice memos out of habit. The last recording was time-stamped 10:14 p.m., the night of the accident. She pressed play. At first there was only road noise. Then Arjun's voice, thick with panic. "Ma, the brakes aren't working. I'm pressing and nothing is happening. Ma, please." A woman's voice, calm, almost tender. "Indira. Arjun beta, just keep straight. Don't fight it." Then Rohan, Arjun's first cousin, the one who always hovered around Indira like a shadow, laughed softly in the background. 5 crores accident cover plus 10 crores term policy. All nominees, Mrs. Indira Kapoor. Finally. The watch cut off when the car hit the divider. Priya played it again. And again. Until the words were branded behind her eyelids. For the next 8 months, Rosemont saw the most flawless grieving widow Punjab had ever produced. Priya wore only white. She opened the free OPD clinic every single day. She touched Indira's feet every morning and night. She personally served langar at the Gurdwara on every Taravi, Tisha, Kalisma, Burshi, and Barsi. And every night, when the house slept, she sat in Arjun's study with the door locked and added one more piece to the mountain of evidence. The mechanic who serviced the Audi 2 days before the accident, paid 8 Indian rupees lakh in cash, recorded confessing on hidden camera. Indira's second set of books showing 42 Indian rupees crore quietly moved into fixed deposits in the last 5 years, while the nursing home chain officially struggled. The insurance policies taken in Arjun's name in the last 18 months, total 15 Indian rupees crore, all nominee, Indira Kapoor, all medical examinations signed by a doctor who had died 6 years ago. Rohan's phone location pings placing. 1 year after Arjun's death, May 14, 2025, Priya sent out cream-colored cards on thick handmade paper. "You are cordially invited to the first death anniversary and Punya Tithi of our beloved Dr. Arjun Singh Kapoor," followed by a small family dinner at Kapoor Niwas. Every relative who had ever eaten at their table received one. The district police commissioner received one. The regional director of the Insurance Regulatory Authority received one. 3 senior journalists from Chandigarh received one. Indira preened. See how nicely Priya has organized everything? Such a perfect daughter-in-law. The courtyard of Kapoor Niwas was lit with 1,000 diyas. A huge LED screen stood where the mandap had once been for Priya's wedding. The same caterers who served at that wedding were serving now. Indira sat at the head table in a heavy Kanjivaram sari and real pearls, accepting condolences like a queen. Priya entered last. She wore the same sky blue cotton sari from the night Arjun died, now pressed and starched. In her hand she carried a silver dali with a single diya and a small brass urn. She touched Indira's feet. Ma ji, before we start the prayer, I have prepared a small video tribute for Arjun. Please allow me. Indira smiled indulgently. Of course, beta. The lights dimmed. The screen came alive. First, childhood photos of Arjun. Then wedding clips. Guests sighed nostalgically. Then the screen went black. Arjun's terrified voice filled the courtyard. Ma, the brakes aren't working. Gasps. Indira froze. The mechanic's confession played next. Bank statements scrolled. Insurance policies. Rohan's voice laughing about crores. Priya stood. Gentlemen, the evidence dossiers are under your plates. The originals are with the CBI. Arrest warrants have already been issued. Indira tried to stand. Her chair fell backward. Rohan bolted for the gate and ran straight into 2 waiting constables. Indira found her voice at last. Priya, beta, this is a misunderstanding. Priya knelt, touched the ground in front of Indira exactly the way a perfect daughter-in-law does, then looked up. No, Ma ji, she said softly. Murder is not a misunderstanding. Indira and Rohan were convicted of murder, criminal conspiracy, and insurance fraud in March 2026. The judge called it the coldest mavricide by proxy in Punjab's history. All insurance money was returned with 18% penal interest and paid into a trust Priya created. The Arjun Kapoor Memorial Children's Hospital and Orphanage. Priya sold the Kapoor nursing home chain, piece by piece, and used every rupee to build a 300-bed pediatric super specialty hospital on the same land where Kapoor Niwas once stood. The old mansion was demolished brick by brick. In its place rose glass walls and gardens where children could play without fear. She kept only one thing from the old house, the brass urn that had once held Arjun's ashes. It now sits on her desk, filled with marigolds every morning. On the first death anniversary of the conviction, Priya stands on the hospital terrace watching the sunset paint the sky the exact blue of that cotton sari. 2 little girls, sisters orphaned in a road accident last year, run up and hug her legs. Dr. Auntie, will you come read us the story tonight? Priya kneels, kisses their foreheads. Of course, my loves. As she walks back inside, the new signboard gleams under the floodlights. Arjun Kapoor Memorial Children's Hospital. Where no child will ever again be told they are not a real family. Somewhere in Tihar jail, Indira Kapoor, prisoner number 4781, still wakes up screaming from nightmares in which a woman in a sky blue sari touches her feet and whispers. You taught me how to be the perfect daughter-in-law, Ma ji. Thank you for the lesson. And in Rosemont, the town that once called Priya perfect now calls her something else entirely. They call her Justice.